Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be my new Thor 4 Love and Thunder video. They're still filming the movie right now. We just got the big announcement. Russell Crowe confirmed that he is playing Zeus during the movie, another one of the big sky gods in the Marvel Universe. So I'll explain what's going on with that. He talked a little bit about what he's doing in the film. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. They will be filming for a while, but we will get a trailer for that probably later this year at some point. Zeus fits into the Gorr the God Butcher storyline with Christian Bale in a cool way, and it's a bit of a reunion for Christian Bale and Russell Crowe. But this is the clip where Russell Crowe made the announcement and talked about it. So there are subtitles in case you can't hear what he's saying very clearly.
I'm going to get on my bicycle. I'm going to ride up to Disney Fox Studios, and around about 9:15, I shall be Zeus.
Oh,
amazing!
Oh, I didn't know we were talking to Zeus this morning.
It's my last day of Zeusing about. I'm going to enjoy it.
So what he's saying is he's literally getting ready to ride his bike down the street to the Disney lot where they're filming Thor 4 in Australia to film his scenes as Zeus. He calls it Zeusing around. So obviously this is him just having fun, probably doing Taika Waititi a solid, because obviously he's a huge actor, he can do anything that he wants to do. This also kind of explains why he was hanging out with the entire cast of Thor 4 a little while ago at a big match. But if it wasn't clear, he is talking about the Greek god Zeus, who is a Marvel character. I'll explain how he compares to characters like Odin and Thor, who are also other major Marvel sky gods that everyone usually thinks about when you talk about gods in the MCU. But the way he talks about his role, he's only doing a small celebrity cameo. Like Matt Damon and Chris Hemsworth's brother, Luke Hemsworth, are coming back as fake Loki and fake Thor to do another play like they did in Thor Ragnarok. I did a video on that a little while ago, so I'll link it at the end of this and down in the description below. But Sam Neill is also coming back as fake Odin again, and this time the play that they're doing is based on the events of Thor Ragnarok. In Ragnarok, their play was a parody of the events of Thor the Dark World. So they're just continuing the trope of doing the play to recap the events of the last movie that they just did and make fun of themselves. Like they make it a super cheesy play on purpose with really bad performances to make fun of themselves. They even have Melissa McCarthy this time to play fake Hela, so I guess there's an Asgardian living in New Asgard who looks just like Melissa McCarthy, because you have to remember, all the people in these plays are Asgardians. But because this is New Asgard and it's been a while since Avengers Endgame, the Asgardians have had time to build out New Asgard. So whereas during Endgame, where we only saw the Bay Area here just to see what they've been doing to survive, like they basically turned into a fishing economy, it was after that 5-year time jump, so the world was still kind of reeling from the effects of the snap. Now they've had some time to rebuild. So you see all these giant structures, like this is some concept art that Taika Waititi posted of New Asgard. So like you have this giant great hall here, which is probably where Valkyrie holds court because technically she is king of Asgard now. Either way, at the beginning of the film, she's still in charge of Asgard because Thor is still with the Guardians of the Galaxy, who we've also seen footage of recently. I also did a separate video about that when we got our first look, because obviously he looks very much like the Thunderstrike version of Thor now. Lost a whole lot of weight since he's been flying around with the Guardians. Even Chris Pratt's Star-Lord character has a giant costume upgrade. Pretty much all the Guardians, for the most part, are in Thor 4 for a little while. But just like some of these celebrity cameos, the fake plays only last for a couple minutes, so they also use them as glorified celebrity cameo scenes, slightly longer versions of what you would call a Stan Lee cameo scene. So when Russell Crowe says that he's just popping over to film a few scenes as Zeus, it's probably just a super short cameo scene. And tying this back around to Christian Bale's Gorr the God Butcher storyline, he's probably playing Zeus in the movie so that Gorr the God Butcher can show up and kill Zeus to show you how powerful Gorr is. Like, he wouldn't be much of a threat if he couldn't kill most of the Marvel gods. So you need to have a couple scenes where he steamrolls some really badass gods. So not only would it be a really cool scene because Gorr is a badass, Zeus is a badass in the Marvel Universe, but you also have this meta aspect to it because it's Christian Bale and Russell Crowe, two giant stars. Batman vs. Jor-El, just another DC reunion, even though technically they never shared any scenes together. He does have that giant Zeus beard that he's been growing out during the lockdown period last year, but the reason why he's super out of shape right now is because he just got done doing a movie that required him to gain a ton of weight, instead of doing it the Chris Hemsworth fat Thor way that he did in Avengers Endgame, using that massive prosthetic. He did it the Christian Bale way, method acting, and actually gained all the weight for the role himself. So Russell Crowe and Christian Bale both do that for most of their roles. Either get super ripped, like jacked up when they need to, or get super fat, gaining a ton of weight, depending on which characters they're playing. It's literally the most hardcore way to play a character, which is why most actors don't do that. Like, they will get in shape for roles, but very few good-looking actors will willingly gain a ton of weight and get super fat for a role. This is what Christian Bale looks like right now on the set of Thor. He just arrived to start filming his scenes as Gorr the God Butcher. He did shave his head, so it gives you some idea for Gorr's look during the movie, although part of his costume will have to be CG motion capture just because of the way his powers and abilities work. If you didn't read his comic book storyline, it's actually pretty fantastic. I'd recommend checking it out at some point. He wields the Necro Sword, which Taika Waititi said inspired some of Hela's powers during Thor Ragnarok, the way she was creating weapons seemingly out of nothingness. But the comic book version of the Necro Sword just has this billowing darkness quality to it that also forms the cloak that Gorr wears, so I'm expecting his face to look more like Christian Bale's actual face instead of the comic book version, which is a little more alien, but the Necro Sword and his powers will probably be a little bit more like the comics. And as you probably guessed, there'll probably be a bunch of scenes early on in the movie where we'll see him going around the universe just killing a ton of lesser and greater gods, just indiscriminately. His whole thing in the comics is that he wants to kill all gods in the Marvel Universe. Imagine Thanos in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, but if he only wanted to get rid of all the gods. The way that Thanos gets the Infinity Gauntlet as his major upgrade as a way to go around killing half the universe in a much quicker way, Gorr does the same thing during his storyline. Like, the Necro Sword is his first big power upgrade that allows him to go around one by one killing gods one at a time. But then he gets a little more strategic and decides to take the Thanos route. Like, there's a quicker way to kill all the gods in the Marvel Universe. So he finds one of the gods of bombs in the Marvel Universe. There is a god of bombs in the Marvel Universe. And basically forces him to design a nuclear god-level weapon that will detonate and then instantly destroy all gods all over the Marvel Universe instantly. Very apropos, they call it the God Bomb. So during Thor 4, when Gorr's going around in his killing spree montage, we'll probably see him trap and kill Zeus. And maybe because it's Russell Crowe, and he's been a badass in most of his films, they'll give him at least a small fight scene against Gorr, so that it's not so one-sided. Zeus in the Marvel Universe is powerful, but he's not nearly as powerful as Odin, wielding the Odin Force. Most of you are probably more familiar with Marvel's Hercules, obviously part of the Greek pantheon. Maybe they'll use Thor 4, if they're doing Zeus, to introduce Hercules' character as well, or at least introduce the concept of him, because if Zeus exists, that means Hercules also probably exists. Hercules has been around for a long time in the comics. He was on the Avengers for a while as sort of a replacement for Thor, but at this point in the Marvel Universe, I think anything is fair game. Marvel and DC both get to have the Greek gods in their movies, like the gods of the Wonder Woman movies are Greek gods because they're part of real-world mythology, and you can't copyright that. So they're all fair game for anyone to use in their movies or creative works, whatever they want to do with them. But the way they explain the Greek gods in the Marvel Universe is that they live on Mount Olympus, like Greek mythology, but in the Marvel Universe, Mount Olympus is actually a pocket dimension. Fun fact too, we have the Eternals movie coming up later this year. The Eternals home base in the comics is actually Olympia, which is near Mount Olympus. And even though those sound like the same thing, technically Olympia and Mount Olympus are different places. It gets a little confusing, but here's the thing. Marvel is actually changing some of the backstory of the Eternals for the Eternals movie later this year. I think in the next couple of months, we'll get that first Eternals trailer, so I'll do a video about their characters and how they're changing their backstory, so don't worry. They're not gods, but they are powerful like gods. When you start talking about the Eternals, X-Men characters, the Inhumans, it does get a little confusing, but I think for the movies, they'll try to simplify a lot of that stuff once they eventually work up to all those different character groups. And you don't gotta worry too much about the gods in the Marvel Universe, because it sounds like they're gonna kill most of them off during Thor 4. Thank you very much, Christian Bale. Everybody press F in the chat to pay respects to the gods of the Marvel Universe. The whole thing with gods in the MCU is that they draw their power from more cosmic sources, like the Celestials have cosmic power. Ego the Living Planet is a great example of that. You see him explaining his more cosmic level abilities to Peter Quill during Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And even though Peter Quill is half celestial, half god with a little g, the way they qualify that during Guardians 2 is that he only was able to use those cosmic abilities, like he only got his massive power upgrade when he was in contact or in proximity to Ego the Living Planet. You could argue that Ego is still alive out there somewhere because it's almost impossible to kill Celestials. You have to be as powerful as a Celestial to kill another Celestial. They'll explain more about the Celestials mythology during the Eternals movie because the Celestials created the Eternals. But this is also relevant for Thor 4 because we've already seen Peter Quill and the Guardians in new Thor 4 footage on the set filming their scenes. The whole thing is that Peter Quill can qualify himself as a god with a little g. Gorr would not care about that distinction. Oh, you're a god. Well, I will want to kill you too now. That's sort of the funny thing with characters like Peter Quill or characters like Loki who boast about being gods. Like, we just got a new Loki trailer. They released a funny promo alongside that with Owen Wilson's character and Tom Hiddleston just going back and forth with each other, where he argues that he's a better character because he is technically a god in the Marvel Universe. You have to imagine that Loki show up, boast about being a god. Gorr would want to kill him too during the movie. I do believe that this version of Loki is the one that will show up during Thor 4, but they haven't completely explained exactly how that's going to work. The thing with the Loki series, we're actually going to get episodes for that starting in June. Of course, I'll be doing videos for that. But they did confirm that that will have multiple seasons, meaning that Loki will survive the events of Thor 4, I think as we would all expect. I've already done a couple trailer videos for that, so I'll link those in the description as well. But everybody let me know in the comments, if Russell Crowe is only going to be in Thor 4 for a little bit as Zeus for celebrity cameo scene, what do you want his death scene to be like with Gorr the God Butcher? I will do more videos for the movie as we get more details. They'll be filming for a while, but my Falcon and Winter Soldier finale video will be next on Friday, just like normal. So while you wait for everything, click here for my brand new Falcon and Winter Soldier Episode 6 finale trailer, and click here for that brand new Thor 4 Love and Thunder teaser. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys tonight.